Okay. Distinguished Toastmaster Judy Hayes has over 20 years of experience in Toastmasters. She has held various leadership positions within the district. She currently serves as the district's contest chair. She accepted this assignment because of her vast experience within Toastmasters and her desire to continue to learn new things. Tonight, Judy will walk us through what is a tall tale and what are the rules. This educational session is designed to help all attendees prepare for the Tall Tales contest. The information to be presented will serve to improve contestants as they strive to deliver a successful speech. Let us welcome distinguished Toastmaster Judy Hayes as she shares her insights into this topic.
Thank you so much. Before I start, let me share my screen so I can start properly. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
I want to welcome each and every one of you for being here this evening. We will have 3 tall tale speeches. Examples will be presented towards the end. The Zoom session will be recorded. If you do not want to be recorded, please turn off your videos. Here are some Zoom guidelines to follow. Kindly mute your microphones. To get acknowledged, please raise your virtual hand. And please display your name on the screen. Now, let's learn about a tall tale. Before I start, I have to let everybody know I have a group of contest committee members, and I did it by division because I'm not able to be in all places, but each and every one of them will represent each division, along with myself as well. For Division A, we have distinguished Toastmaster Wanda Brown. I thank her for being here this evening. We have for Division B, distinguished Toastmaster Kathy Emerson. For Division C, I will be for Division C, along with everyone else. Division D is Christina Grover, distinguished Toastmaster, and she is on the line tonight. Thank you for being here. Division E is distinguished Toastmaster Paula Suma. I thank you as well for being here this evening. Division F, I have Aisha Ambu Samra, and she is on the meeting this evening in her car, helping us through the whole meeting. I thank you. And we have distinguished Toastmaster Vicki Goodman for Division G. That is my team for this year. Now, a tall tale speech is 3 to 5 minutes in length. It's a highly exaggerated or made-up story that appears to be believable. It's an improbable story with a plot or a theme. If you're a contestant, you must meet Toastmasters International requirements for a tall tale contestant. The general requirements are: dues must be current for all members who will participate. Club renewal status must be verified by Toastmasters International, which means your club should be in good standing with 8 members or less. There are no pathway education requirements, so all members can be a contestant, except for district officers or candidates. They cannot compete in any contests. Now, tall tales. Tall tales are a type of folk tale, and folk tales are fictional stories, and some are actually true, and they've passed down through generations. And the way they've done it is through oral presentation. You sit down, they'll tell you a story. And I know you've heard of Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed. These are tall tales. What are characteristics of a tall tale? They are highly exaggerated stories that contain actual people or places, familiar things or landmarks. Example, Jack and the Beanstalk or the Pied Piper. And the character is someone that has maybe some great fears. They're helped by a powerful object or animal, like Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan is a giant, and he had this huge ox, which was blue, named Babe. That's an animal. And sometimes they have problems. something with nature, or even different people. Now, like I was saying, Jack and the Beanstalk. Just tell you a little story about Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, Jack was a country boy, and he lived with his mother, and they had a farm. Now, his mother asked Jack to take the cow to town. And she said, I want you to sell the cow in town. So Jack hooks up the cow and starts walking down the street to take the cow to town, like his mother said. But while he's on this road to the town, this stranger man comes and talks to him. Doesn't know anything. He says, hey there, young man. How would you like these magical beans? Okay. He said, they can do wonders for you. They can make you rich, solve all your problems. And Jack knew that his mother had told him to take the cow to the town to sell the cow. But Jack told him, and he said, I don't know, I don't have any money to buy the beans. But the stranger said, that cow looks very promising. How about we trade the cow for the beans? Jack thought about it, says mother. Jack thought real hard about it. And then he said, all right. So you see them exchanging. He takes the cow and he gives him all these beans. Jack goes home so excited to tell his mother, oh, Mom, I met this man on the road and we have these magical beans that'll help us be rich. We won't be poor anymore. His mother got so upset she threw the beans out the window. Now, to Jack's surprise, they went into the dirt and they started to grow and grow and grow. And you get this huge beanstalk. You see the beanstalk? It's huge. Have you ever seen a beanstalk? This big? This beanstalk goes up and up and up through the clouds. Jack says, oh, I have to go up there and see what it is. If this beanstalk is here, I'm going up here to find out what it is. So he see him climbing up this beanstalk. See the little picture there? He's climbing up the beanstalk. He's climbing all the way up through the clouds, and he sees this huge castle. So he goes up to the castle, and the door is larger than what he is. He says, I don't know who lives here. Then he finally gets in the door, and he sees this huge giant. Now, I know you know these words. You've heard it. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Now, that is where this saying also comes from, Jack and the Beanstalk. And you see the giant running after him. He sees him. He starts running down. And you see Jack run down the stalk, but he grabs a hen on his way going down. He gets all the way down to the back to his home. And he says, oh my God, I got away from the giant. His mother didn't really know where he went. But the next day, the hen laid a golden egg. Now, would you believe this? A hen, a giant, a castle, a hen, a golden egg? Now, that's highly exaggerated. But the golden egg did get them rich. They weren't poor anymore. That's just one type of Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, another one is the Pied Piper. Do anybody know about the Pied Piper? Have you heard about the Pied Piper? Oh, okay. Let me tell you about the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper was this young gentleman. He's dressed in all these multicolors all over him. He has this little pipe and he starts playing it. And it's a musical and magical pipe because the music and notes that comes out and make people do things they didn't want to. So he goes to this town called Hamlin. True town, Hamlin. And the town, he visited with the town people and they say, Pied Piper, we have all these mice and all these rats. If you can get away with them or get rid of them, we'll pay you a certain sum of money. The Pied Piper starts playing his musical instrument. He starts playing it and playing it and playing it, and he gets all the rats and the mice. He takes them down to the river, and he gets them in the river, and they all die. Now, what happens is the Pied Piper goes back to get rewarded for this, but the townspeople never rewarded him. So he says, oh, I'll fix them. So he gets on his pipe and he plays again, and all the children are around him. So with all the musical sounds that was there, all the children started to follow him. He started, I think it was 134 children. They all followed him out of the town. You have to remember this. These are musical. And what happened was they all went out of the town. They all disappeared forever. Now, this is based on a true story from 1284. There's 134 children that actually followed. I'm not sure the person that they followed, but they disappeared out of this particular town. So some tall tales are actual true facts. This is just some characteristics where you can make a story. This is about Thumbelina. Have you heard about Thumbelina? Okay. She's called Thumbelina because she was no bigger than your thumb. See your thumb? No bigger than that thumb. That's how small she was. These are just some characteristics where you can make a story about it. First of all, the story takes place in a forest. Thumbelina was born from a magical flower. She was kidnapped by a toad. The toad expected her to marry her son. These are all these different things that can happen in the story. She was hiding from a field mouse in the forest. Now she's so tiny, the field mouse might think she's a bug and eat her, so she has to hide. She secretly rescued an injured sparrow. Now, what that sparrow did, the sparrow flew her away to a fairy tale land where she meets this magic flower prince, and she becomes a princess. That's just another story of things that just happened. Everybody knows about Pinocchio, correct? Everybody knows the story about Pinocchio? That's a tall tale also. But remember, Pinocchio had a few magical characteristics and powers, but they were given to him by his fairy godmother. And he was a puppet, and Geppetto was his puppet master. And he used to keep him in the corner and bring him out and play with him at times. And this one day, the magic godmother made him be able to speak. But what would happen with Pinocchio? Pinocchio starts telling all little lies. And every lie he told, his nose got bigger and bigger and bigger. And by him telling these lies, Geppetto said, oh, he's never going to be a real boy. I'm never going to have the opportunity to have a real child like I want to have. But this one evening, the fairy godmother came and looked into the puppet master's heart, Geppetto. He had such a heart and love for his puppet, Pinocchio, that she waved her wand, made him become a real boy. And that's a tall tale. Now, there's a difference here between a tall tale and a lie. A lie, like you see, Pinocchio's nose grew because he told a lie. But a lie it depends on how you look at a lie. It deliberately deceives somebody and it misleads a person. The purpose to avoid punishment or to gain a benefit somehow by telling a lie, like say you got to work late and you didn't know why. She said you had a flat tire, you never did. What would you think? And also, it's a breach of trust. If you know somebody and they lie to you, that makes you not believe them ever again. And the nature of it, it could be a personal gain or it could be to avoid trouble. You never know, but it's a falsehood. If someone lies to you and you know they're really good, you won't believe them again. Would you? Now, a tall tale. A tall tale, it's a little funny. It's to entertain you. You weave a little good story with a little humor. And the best part is you suspend disbelief into belief. It's highly exaggerated. It's a larger than life character with a lot of humor. Because tall tales, some are true, some are not true. But you want them to be funny, not true. And you exaggerate them enough, the disbelief will make you believe what the story they're actually telling you. Why are tall tales told? It's entertainment and provides cultural meaning through exaggerated stories. It's a blend with some truth with extreme exaggeration. It's to reflect value and struggles of a community. and to explain the creation of natural features such as mountains and lakes. Now, just so you know, Paul Bunyan has a tall tale. They thought he built the Grand Canyon, made the Great Lakes, and they even had him down for inventing the hot cake griddle. Now, would you believe that or not? And to see people laugh and enjoy the stories. You don't want a sad story. You want a happy story. Or something that's so funny, you're really laughing so hard you can't stop. That's the kind of over exaggeration you want. Now, let's demonstrate. We have three speakers this evening that will be giving you different tall tales. And our first speaker this evening is distinguished Toastmaster Paula Suma. Her title is My Epic Adventure. My Epic Adventure, distinguished Toastmaster Paula Suma. Please welcome her.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. I worked briefly as an Uber driver before I started teaching silver sneakers aerobics class at the gym. And boy, do I have stories to tell you about my Uber experience. My best day ever was actually my last day as an Uber driver. It was on a scorching hot Thursday in Orlando, the kind where your air conditioner is on full blast. The humidity was sweltering, and you could bake a dozen chocolate chip cookies on the hood of your car. I was about halfway through my Uber shift when I got a ping. Pickup K. Reeves, destination Epic. I figured it was a prank. But when I pulled up to a quiet resort near Universal Boulevard, there he was, K. Reeves. Keanu Reeves in the flesh. He was wearing cargo pants, a black t-shirt, and a Yankee baseball cap that came down about halfway over his eyes. I don't know if he was trying to look cool or just trying to look in disguise, but he sure was good looking. Well, I just didn't know what to say. He was eating a mango ice pop when he opened the door to my Uber and got in the back seat. He quickly finished, crumbled up the paper, and stuffed it in his pocket. He didn't want to leave a mess on my car seat, and it was dripping a lot, so he ate that mango ice pop pretty quickly. As I turned around to say hello, and I handed him a wet wipe to wipe his sticky hands, he said, "I've never done a theme park before. I hope this one's not too scary. I hear it has dragons." I said, "You've never done a theme park? You, Keanu Reeves?" He nodded. I've dodged bullets, I've fought robots, I've ridden motorcycles off cliffs, but I've actually never, ever ridden on a roller coaster. It terrifies me. My heart was beating so fast. I didn't know if I should tell him it terrifies me too, or if I just should say, "Hey, don't worry, you're a trooper, you can handle this." I just kept driving, kept my hands on the wheel, and every once in a while I'd look in that rear view mirror and he was just smiling and looking around. I could tell he was in for a fun day. We pulled into the entrance of Epic Universe. The place was buzzing. Kids wearing wizard robes, flashing around their wands, parents in meltdown mode, yelling at their kids, and a guy dressed in a steampunk jellyfish handing out maps. Keanu turned to me and said, "Are you coming in?" "Well, I'm technically still working." "Not anymore." And he handed me a lanyard with a VIP pass on it. Wow, that is awesome. I was so excited. Keanu Reeves, not only did I get to drive him there, I got to be his guest walking around the theme park. Wow, I couldn't say no to John Wick or Neo. Would you say no to one of them? Not me. So I parked in the VIP parking lot and we casually walked through the crowds into the park without anyone noticing. I guess that Yankee cap did its trick. We hit every ride. Keanu screamed on Stardust Spiral like a man discovering gravity for the first time. Whoa! On Dragon's Flight, he tried to negotiate with the animatronic dragon. Mid-ride, I come in peace, he shouted. The dragon roared and Keanu ducked. We had so much fun. At lunch, he insisted on trying every soda flavor from the freestyle machine. Mixing root beer and kiwi lime is the future, he said to me. I disagreed strongly. Oh, tasted horrible. Then came the arcade. Keanu dominated skee-ball like he was a martial artist. He won a plush sloth and he named it Neo Jr. It made me cry when I saw him hand it to a little freckle-faced little boy who just dropped his ice cream. Wow, what a hero. We snacked on churros and we had more ice cream later. We were going to stop for dinner, but we were so full of all the snacks we ate. And actually, after riding those roller coasters, my stomach was kind of playing somersaults a little bit. Before we parted ways, he took the ice pop wrapper out of his pocket. He had a pen and he signed his name. And he wrote, "Thanks for an epic day." And he handed it to me. Wow. Keanu turned to me and said, "This is the best day I've had in years. And I didn't even get punched once. Thanks for being my co-pilot, Paula." Wow. I just didn't know what to say. I was in shock. I was excited. It was so amazing for me to spend my day with Keanu Reeves. After I dropped him off at his hotel, I went back home and I just laid on the bed, slowly closing my eyes and falling asleep, holding that ice pop wrapper in my hands. I dreamt of fighting dragons with John Wick and riding on a bus without brakes. Neo was my hero. The next morning, I woke up to a text message from my Uber boss. "You're fired." I told you it was my last day at Uber. That's okay. My epic adventure was well worth it. Contest Master.
Nice, Paula.
Thank you so much, Paula. Now we have
Thank
one
you.
more. Did everybody mute themselves? Or have our next speaker. Our next speaker is John Morrow, Distinguished Toastmaster John Morrow. Hooked. Hooked. Distinguished Toastmaster John Morrow.
John, you're still muted, buddy.
Well, I sure appreciate somebody telling me about that. It's the 1960s, and I am in my adolescent years. I grew up in Southeast Tennessee, but also where Southeast Tennessee joins with Northeast Alabama and Northwest Georgia. As a teenager, we liked to go out on dates on Friday nights. And for us, there wasn't the stuff around in the 1960s that we have today. So one of the things that country kids like to do is go parking. Have you ever been parking? That's where you, pardon the expression, make out. And what does make out look like? I'm not going to go into details, but I will tell you one thing. Sometimes finding a place that is secretive where you can take your car and park in the dark and then be alone with your favorite squeeze for a couple of hours can be dangerous. And such was the case in 1965 in a community called Pisgah. Pisgah was located on Sand Mountain. Sand Mountain was a sister hill to Lookout Mountain, which actually has its birth down near Fort Payne, Alabama, and winds its way to the point where it stops in Chattanooga, Tennessee, my birthplace. This particular event was harrowing for people. That night, there was a young couple, probably high school junior, maybe senior. They're out riding around in mom and dad's car. It's probably a 1961 Chevy Bel Air with a 283 V8. And on this particular area of Sand Mountain near Pisgah, there are a lot of tree-lined forests that you can go off to dirt roads and find quiet places or abandoned places where you can park. And such was the case on this particular night, which was a bit cooler than normal. It was about 45 degrees outside. So the couple parked the car, turned the lights out, rolled the windows up, but kept the radio on. Windows up, obviously, because they didn't want to get cold. But let me tell you what, they were generating a lot of heat in that car because pretty soon the windows got fogged up from the inside. And you couldn't see in the car, but you knew somebody was in there. And they had the radio going with their favorite music. And they were doing what couples in love in 1965 do as teenagers. And suddenly, someone broke in on the radio with the announcement that there had been a violent act at a local tavern not very far away on Trenton Highway. Now, I know where Trenton Highway is at because actually it runs from Scottsboro, Alabama, across Sand Mountain, over and down to the foot of Lookout Mountain in Dade County, Georgia. Yes, friends, there is a Dade County, Georgia, and its county seat is Trenton. This couple was up on Sand Mountain near Pisgah, and they said that tavern was on the Trenton Highway, and this person had a distinguishing characteristic. The assault and evidently the alleged 3 victims who appeared to be dead at the scene had died from this guy who had on his right arm not a hand, but a hook. Back in the day, if you wanted to be able to use the appendage for something, a hook was often put on either as a slide-on sleeve or in some cases as a cap at the end on the nub where the hand used to be. And the young man came to alert there in that clouded up, fogged car and thought to himself, wait a minute, that's Mel's Tavern. And that's just a quarter mile from where we're at. Suddenly, it occurred to him they needed to get out of there because who knows where that guy fled. And it had been said in the report, stay in your homes, lock your doors, and if you see anything unusual, contact law enforcement. Well, obviously, there's no such thing as cell phones in 1965. So he fires up that car, he puts it in gear, he peels back, turns around, and heads out of that forest area as fast as he can so he can head home as quickly as possible and take his sweetheart with him. And he does. And like a true great gentleman, a Southern gentleman, when he arrives at mom and dad's house to drop off his date, he gets out of the car. He walks around to the door where she is on the passenger side, and he starts to reach for the door handle when he looks down and he sees dangling from the door handle a hook. Is that a true story? I heard it is, but maybe it's not. But one thing's for certain. Next time you decide to go parking with your favorite squeeze, don't get hooked. Madam Contest Master.
Thank you, John, so much for that story. Now we have one more tall tale. Distinguished Toastmaster Pin Part. Do I look like a criminal? Do I look like a criminal? Distinguished Toastmaster Pin Part.
Look at me. Do I look like a criminal? So why am I being treated like a criminal? I want to share with you 2 stories about my traveling. A few years back, I went to Toastmaster International Convention in Denver, Colorado. It was 4 days jam-packed with activities, and the best part was to witness the world champion of public speaking. Also met Toastmasters from all over the world. And also they have a Toastmaster store. I bought everything. You know how expensive the shipping cost is. They have a store and you can just buy whatever you want right then and there. So I bought a whole bunch of stuff for my clubs. Now, the activity ended on Saturday night. My flight, not until Sunday afternoon. And guess what? The store is open Sunday morning. So I went to the store and picked up a few pieces of stuff that I want, that I saw. And of course, my suitcase already full, so I just threw it in my carry-on bag. I also bought this beautiful Toastmaster towel. So I threw whatever I bought in my carry-on bag. Went to the airport, no problem, no traffic. Checked in, and then we went to the TSA. Not a problem. I just put my purse and my bag on the conveyor belt. I went to the body scan. I went to the other side, went through clear, wait for my bags. My bag did not come. My purse came, but this bag did not come. I saw the agent was looking at something. And he called the other guy, another officer, to come and look at whatever he was looking at. And that was enough. They called the third guy to come and look at it. And I thought, wow, everybody was looking at me like I was a criminal or something. Finally, one of the guys grabbed the bag and say, "Ma'am, step aside and come with me." Oh, what did I do? So he took me to a little table at the corner, and he said, "Ma'am, you know you're not supposed to bring weapon on the airplane." Weapon? What did I do? I did not bring a weapon. So he said, "What about this?" This is the gavel that I bought at the last minute at the Toastmaster store. And I told him, "Sir, I'm a Toastmaster. This is the gavel that we bang on the table when we open and close the meeting." Maybe I shouldn't have said the word bang. So he said, "Well, you can hurt someone with this. You can knock someone on the head with this." And I said, "It's a light wood. It's a gavel, sir. It is not a weapon." So he said, "Well, I'm going to talk to my supervisor and see what he said." He went back there, talked to his supervisor, and he said, "Yeah, we'll let you keep this, but put in the bag, put it on the department on the top, and do not bring it down where you're sitting. Make sure no one see this." Whew. Do I look like a criminal to you? A gavel. Another story. I was coming back from my trip to Thailand. Again, my flight not until late at night. I have another half a day to go shopping, and this is my last opportunity to shop for all the Thai stuff. So I went shopping, bought a few things, and I throw it in my carry-on bag. This time I have a regular carry-on bag because my 2 other suitcases is full. Same story. Went to the airport, went to security, went to the body scan, it was fine. And then waiting for my carry-on. It never came. So I didn't sat. I stand there and wait. Everybody was looking at me like I was a criminal. Finally, the agent was looking, called the other guy, come look, called the third officer to come look. Same story. I don't know what's happening. He carried my bag and said, "Ma'am, step aside and come with me." So I went to the corner and he said, "Open this bag." He said, "Ma'am, you are not supposed to bring live animal in your suitcase." I said, "Live animal? I did not bring live animal." He said, "Open this." So it was wrapping. So I opened it. I have a ceramic chicken that I bought at the last minute. Not only I have him, I have the mother chicken, and I have 2 baby chicken. And because of that, he stopped me. Fellow Toastmasters, do I look like a criminal to you? Back to you, Judy.
Thank you so much, Pim. Now, I hope each and every one of you appreciated the tall tales. I'm going to share something with you just for a moment. Oops. Oh, it didn't go. One more time. One more time. Here we go. Just so you're aware, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of them, and please unmute yourself so everybody can clap for them because they did an outstanding job. Please do that before we continue.
Yay!
Raw.
Now everybody has to mute just for a few more minutes. Please mute yourself back. I haven't had a chance to change the red screen yet, but it will be blue in a few minutes. But just so you're aware, here's a tall tale contest ballot. This is what it's 5 different areas they're gonna judge you on if you're a tall tale contestant. And don't be afraid of it. It's really okay. I'll break it down for you. First time you have 30%, which is content. And that's just exaggerating and grabbing the audience's attention. But you have to have a smooth build up to a climax and then a conclusion. Delivery is 55% in 3 different areas. Speech technique, that's exaggeration. That's a humor with a little twist. And you have to always incorporate that with the tall tale. Physical presentation, your body movements, your gestures, whatever you say, exaggerated. Like Jack LaMisse, he was climbing up the tree. Give that exaggeration. He's climbing up the tree, this whole stalk. Then your voice. Make your voice clear so you can be heard and understood. Don't use a large word like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That won't work. Use a small word like you went here, or you went there, or you did something else. The language. Make sure it's appropriate and understanding. And thoughts fit the occasion or what you're actually talking about. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yes, I have a question or two.
Sure.
Thanks. First, could the tall tale be delivered in song?
To be honest, I've never heard it delivered in song. Not saying you can't do it. It doesn't say you can't do it, but I've never seen it done that way, to be honest with you. That's the honest
Okay.
truth I have.
Thank you.
You know, Judy, there's some really nice tall tales that are taped on YouTube, so that if anybody would like to see other examples of, I think, very effective and successful tall tales, YouTube I have found to be a very good resource because it is kind of hard. It's kind of difficult to distill what exactly a tall tale is. But we saw 3 great examples this evening. So now I think everyone, even if you had questions, you've got a good grip. So thanks very much for putting this together because I think you've educated everybody, including me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that Bet? I believe. Bet.
Yes, it's Bet. I have a question for you. You said that in a tall tale, you have to have a human being.
No. I said it's not always a human being. It could be animal. It
Oh,
could
okay.
be anything. It could be talking about the clouds.
Okay.
And just how you exaggerate and how which way you want the clouds to go. Do you want them to rain or do you want them to, like walk around or something? It's up to you how you actually do it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ty, you have a question?
I do have. What about the originality? How much of it needs to be original?
Good question.
I believe that international speech contest rules apply that you must have at least no more than 25% from other sources.
Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, the length of it, is it 5 to 7? Is it
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to
3 to
5?
5 minutes.
Okay.
And is it safe to say that you're disqualified 30 seconds under, 30 seconds over?
Yes, that is correct.
Good.
Did everybody understand the tall tales? Let me ask you that. Did you understand the actual what a tall tale is? Let me ask you that question. I'm asking everybody. Some people are
And
saying,
I guess it could be fun and funny, but I would suggest, and I'm not try to stay away from those controversial issues. I know a while back I gave a presentation back in 2016, way back CC days.
okay.
And I think at the very end of it, I made one controversial statement, and everyone, no matter how funny it was, they went like, and it just took everything down. So I said, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said that, even though I wasn't thinking about it. But depends on, I'm from the South, Louisiana, and there are certain statements and things you just don't say. And I thought it was funny, but it wasn't funny. It was sensitive. It was sensitive to some people. So
So you have to know your audience at the same time. Know your
yes,
audience and who you're speaking in front of.
yes.
Ty, your hand is still up. Do you still have a question? Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Really? That's amazing. But what I wanted to say, I wanted to thank Paula for giving her speech, John for giving his speech, and Pim for giving their speech. All three of them, I appreciate you coming this evening to present it for everyone else to actually hear what a tall tale is actually about. And I appreciate each and every one of you that are here this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. No other questions. Are there any other questions in the chat that I don't know about?
There were a couple of areas where somebody suggested a couple of misspellings. We can correct those prior to your putting it online, perhaps.
Yes, I did answer, I think it was Liz. I did answer Liz about some of the
Okay.
corrections.
Judy, may I offer
Sure.
some insights that I've gained over the years in a Tall Tales environment?
Please do.
I don't know exactly when we started this, but at Lakeland Toastmasters, my home club, I know that at least for the last 15 or so years, maybe even going back further, this was before the Tall Tales was reinstituted as one of the rotating 3 competitions that we rotate through every year in our club contest. We as a club did what we call a Christmas potluck. And it was a fellowship gathering, but we conducted a Tall Tales contest for the benefit and for the entertainment, not just of the guests, but for the members. It was done by Tall Tales rules because Tall Tales is not new. This particular type of contest has been around for, I would say, a good 20, 25, 30 years. It's just not a part of the regular Toastmasters competition formatting. But I would encourage clubs on those years here in District 84 when Tall Tales is not a part of the trio of contests we do, consider having an open house and do a Tall Tales contest for the benefit of introducing the members, particularly the newer ones, to the concept of a Tall Tale, but also for the entertainment value that it brings to the audience. And again, of course, as Donald was correct to point out, always do it in good taste, but make it fun and make it not just in terms of the presentations and exaggerated exaggeration, but even exaggerate the apparel you wear. One year I was the contest master and I dressed in this outlandish part Attila the Hun, part Santa Claus outfit and declared myself Attila the Claus. And I led the meeting. And it's just one of those crazy ideas that I came up with. And yes, I have pictures to prove it, but I'm not going to readily share them on the website. However, have fun with it. Make it a part of how you create vitality and fun in your club, and at the same time, introduce your speakers to new ideas on how to communicate for the fun of it.
Thank you, John. But just so you know, in Division B, every year at our picnic, we do tall tales. And how it actually started was, I guess maybe I'll say 2009. We had so many members that were part of the district, and we weren't doing tall tales at the time. We decided to do tall tales with all the uh, district members because it wasn't, we didn't have to do it for the district. So we did it as a fun thing for everybody to get used to doing tall tales. And every year since that time, at our Division B picnic, we do tall tales as a contest. So it's a way for all of us to get used to it. So we do it every year, regardless if it's in the district or not. Vicky, you were saying something?
No, I was just sharing in the chat that, there are a lot of occasions, as John said, where you can incorporate tall tales. Tall tales can also be, Halloween is a great time to start thinking of tall tales as sort of creepy, spooky things that, we go through. They start normal and then they go into something strange and weird and you bring it to a conclusion. So that's a tall tale as well.
Yeah.
I know, and Liz made a comment too. She said it's a good time, a good way to have tall tales presented to clubs. If they're not doing it one year, do it as maybe an open house, like John was saying. That would be a nice way to do it also.
Yeah.
Okay. No one has any other.
And before you had mentioned about 25% had to be exaggerated. Is that what it was?
No.
Oh, 25% had to be truth?
No, 25, you can have no more than 25% from another. It has to be 75% original. That's a better way to say that.
Oh, yeah.
At
Yeah,
least,
right.
at least 75% original, or you may be disqualified. In other words, don't share a story you've heard or that you grew up with or you had at camp or, something
Right.
like that. It has to be an original tall tale.
I see. Okay, I'm glad I clarified. Thank you.
That tall tale that I told about the parking incident with the hook is legend where I grew up, and it's been a part of my life since I was a teenager. So it's not a story that comes from anything other than the fact that we grew up having heard about this.
And some tall tales are actually true. Like the Piper, I didn't know that was actually true. I actually went to actually go into about the story that it happened in 1284, 134 children disappearing. So you never know where the tall tale comes from, and you hear about it.
Could be
This
based
is
on
true.
reality, right?
And what
I
happened,
was actually, yeah,
what happened to Pim at the airport is a perfect example of what can happen.
that's a true story.
See?
But I did buy this, but I did not get stopped. So I incorporate that. But this is a true story.
That's hysterical.
Isn't it?
A question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, when you say 75% original, means original your creation, or could you present a tall tale that someone else sourced from someone else?
That would not be original.
No.
Okay.
And I can add to that.
Yeah, John.
You can take an experience that you've been through or your family went through or you went through with your family at an event, and you can exaggerate it beyond normal exaggeration. You can over exaggerate it. There's nothing wrong with that because it's still based upon a true event, and you wrote it and told it, you told it your way.
In my opinion, those make the best tall tales. Just think of something and then make it go in some weird, outlandish fashion that you all can laugh about or go forward. But there's great ways to make tall tales.
So I have a question then. So since John's story was based on the legend that he grew up with, because he added, would that be appropriate? Would that be allowed to be shared in this context?
Only by John, because it's from him. And he exaggerated a little bit of the legend, actually, which he told you. If I'm not correct, John, you can correct me.
It would really depend
shaking my
on, I didn't hear John's speech, so I don't, but it would
Oh,
depend on
I'm
the
shaking my
actual
head.
overall legend
seriously.
and if it was known, you know, sometimes honestly and truthfully, you know, who's gonna, I don't know John's legends that he grew up with, or if it's not, but if somebody, one of the judges came along and said, oh, they've been telling that at camp for 10 years, you know, or something, then you
Oh.
have to start questioning the originality of it. If it's been heard online or in other venues or things like that, you just need to consider that. It's okay to get a spark or an idea from something, but you need to take it in your own direction.
Fred, you had a question?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, back to Pim's point, is you can exaggerate based on a true story, like certain events, and then exaggerate from there, adding your own twist to it, because you're not borrowing someone else's stuff, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So basically, you're just adding your own spin to the truth, so to speak, and then running with it in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one way to
You're
start, but it does,
embellishing. You are
yes.
doing a great deal of embellishing.
Yes,
But I
ma'am.
will say it does not have to be based on any sort of reality that you experience. It can be totally creative.
Okay,
I
and that was gonna be my next question, Vicky, is could you totally exaggerate
Make up.
The
Make up a
entire thing.
situation.
The
Your
entire thing.
your
That's exactly what
imagination
I
is
did.
your limit.
okay,
Fred,
that's
that's exactly what I did. None of my story was true. I made the whole thing up.
okay,
I don't know.
that's what I needed to know.
What,
I didn't
Paula, you
know.
weren't an Uber driver?
No, none of that was true.
Okay.
I never met Keanu Reeves either.
And
That's what I wanted to ask about originality. So when you say
Totally made up.
originality, you mean you can't borrow something, but originality as far as your own, like with what Paula did, that was her own original tale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
that's what I was trying to clarify when you meant being original.
The story or the history of an individual who attacked a group of people in a public place and he had a hook for a hand is true. However, the people, the place, and those particular events were totally my creation. After all, as a teenager, I know what it's like to go parking in a peach grove.
What? John, you never went parking.
Oh, I went parking. I know where the great parking places are in Northwest Georgia. Right?
Okay. La, 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 la,
Too
la,
much
la, la, la.
information.
Okay, stop a minute. Ty, you have your hand up.
Oh,
Ty, you have your hand up? Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say that I know that when you're talking about legends, I had heard one of the stories when I was much younger myself. And so I think I would apply the rule that when in doubt, leave it out.
Okay.
Because you never know if you're going to be judged by people that don't know where it's coming from, but they think that they've heard it before. They could mark down on you.
Agreed.
And there have been some contests that have been won by 1 point. So, when in doubt, leave it out.
And
Also, the judges are the ones who can file,
protest.
they can file a protest. And if the judges got together and said, I've heard that story before, the only change is the name of the town or the city or, but I've heard that exact story before, then if the judges protest, they can agree to disqualify that person.
That would be judges or contestants can protest.
Right. If it's something that they have heard before and they can look it up, because I know that there have been contests where we literally looked up a story online and found that that was not a made up story by that person. That was a story that was found somewhere online.
I
So-
want to pitch in right here because I think we're sort of dancing around the issue of AI. And I think that that should be of interest to everyone here, that the speeches that we give, whether they're contest or not, need to be substantially original. And I would have a real problem if I discovered that somebody in my club was using AI, because creativity is not from a machine. So, and isn't it great that this is one aspect that I cannot imagine AI for the next 5-10 years being able to compose a tall tale.
Ooh, yes, it
I
could.
didn't know we were dancing around AI.
I stand corrected, okay?
But you may have to give parameters. You may have to give parameters. You know, a lot of AI has to do with putting together thoughts, into an order, or organizing or offering suggestions on how to improve something. So just using AI may or may not be, everybody's worried about it being cheating, but they're really trying to do a lot of research about that as it being actually original, or that you're actually using it as a tool.
Okay. Bet you had your hand up.
Well, I just wanted to just verify one thing. You had initially said that it had to be funny, and I was thinking, does it have to be funny? Can it be a created,
Suspenseful
yeah,
or something.
with a little
It
tension
depends
or
on how, I'm
drama?
gonna put it this way. It depends on how you're delivering it. Put it that way. Most of them are funny. Doesn't say it has to be funny, but depends on how you deliver it. That's how they're gonna judge you, how you deliver the actual speech.
Right.
Most of them could even be a little bit on the surprise.
Eerie.
Dramatic. Yeah. Remember that the tall tale has an identifiable exaggeration. I mean, at some point your audience is going to go, "Wait a minute. Did that really happen?" So that exaggeration part is what makes it a tall tale.
John holds up his hook.
All right.
And again, I think that you should be aware of those ballots. Read what the judges are. If you're a speaker, read what the judges are looking for, because judges come in all shapes and sizes and all walks of life and different ideas about things. So remember that whoever's judging, it's their opinion. So take what they're looking at into consideration. So if I agree with what Ty said earlier, if it's, if you're questioning it, if you're not sure, leave it out.
Yeah, and in the judging rules with speech technique, it does say it's exaggerating, humor with a surprise twist. So that's in the judging regulations. So that would help you so you know what it actually is. Like Paul's saying, look over the judging criteria and see what they're actually asking for, and go by that to actually do your tall tale.
Where can one get a copy of the judging criteria?
Toastmaster International. And if you need one, I could send you one. But all the Toastmaster kits are there. Tall tale, evaluation, international, all the kits are there with all the judging forms.
Google Toastmasters Tall Tale Contest.
All right. Since everybody is quiet, which is unbelievable for me at this time, I don't want to take the rest of your evening up, but I want to thank you, each and everyone, for being here this evening. And I especially thank all my speakers that were here and everyone that is online with me this evening. If you have any questions, you can send me an email at contest@toastmastersd84.org. But I just found out for some reason it's not working, but it will be working by tomorrow. So just so you're aware of that as well. Thank you, everyone.